Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I am doing a VR for Brian over at Hodges 1455. Brian has a fantastic channel. I enjoy watching his stuff. He's also out there supporting everybody. So I'll give a link to Brian down below. Check out his channel. He wants to do a subscriber giveaway. And he wants us to make a VR. So what he's asking us to do is talk about great hitting pitchers, or a story about a time a pitcher hit that resonates with us. And Brian, I've got both. I've got a couple pitchers that I think were great hitting pitchers that I would like to share. And then I've got a story also that I want to share with you guys. So Brian, the first guy is this guy right here, Don Drysdale. I know Darren over at Return to Collecting picked him also. This is his rookie card. I know that you have this same rookie card, so we have this in common. One of Brian's last recent videos, he talked about how he picked up his first version of this card. It's a great video. You should check it out. But Drysdale himself was a good hitting pitcher. I mean, for his career, he hit 186, but he had a ton of power. He had 29 home runs. He hit 26 doubles, 7 triples. He drove in 113 RBIs, and he walked 60 times. So Mr. Drysdale could definitely hit and help himself out with the bat. So that's the first person I think of when I think of a good hitting pitcher. The other guy I think of when I think of a good hitting pitcher is this guy right here, Bob Gibson. Bob Gibson, he could do it with the bat. He hit 206 for his career. But like Drysdale, he had a ton of power. Gibson hit 24 home runs, had 44 doubles, 5 triples. He drove in 144 runs, and he walked 63 times. So when Bob Gibson could also get it done with the bat. So these are two guys, when I think of good hitting pitchers, really good hitting pitchers, Drysdale and Gibson come to mind for me. The third guy I want to talk about is this guy right here, and that is Ken Holtzman. This is the story, Brian, that I want to tell you about. So for those that don't know about Ken Holtzman, he was a star pitcher, really good pitcher. And when he pitched for the A's he pitched for the A's for 3 or 4 years in the 70s. And in 72, 73, and 74, when they went back to back as world champs, he's a big reason they got there. Most people, when they think about that pitching staff, they always think of Catfish Hunter and Vida Blue. But this guy was actually their second best pitcher. He won 19 games in 72, 21 games in 73, and 19 games in 74. And, he won, during that span, he won 16 more games than Vida Blue did, and he won more games than Vida every year. So Ken Holtzman was a big reason they were a 3-time world champ. But he wasn't a great hitter. For his career, he was a 163 hitter. He hit 2 home runs and drove in, I think, 34 RBIs for his career. So in 1973, my family moved from Southern California to Northern California. So I was a Dodger fan living in Northern California. I always liked the A's. They were kind of like my second favorite team. But I was a big Dodger fan. And, I was too young to see the Koufax years. As a matter of fact, by the time I really started watching baseball, Drysdale was retiring. So in 74, I was 13 years old, and the Dodgers were having a great season. And I remember I could sit in my bedroom, and if I turned my radio in the right angle, I could pick up Vin Scully, broadcast of Dodger games, and I would listen to Dodger games. I used to have a big calendar where I was marking off wins to get to us clinching the division. And then they ended up with the best record in baseball, and I was hoping they'd go to the World Series, which they did. And they met the A's in the World Series, and in the first 3 games, the score was 3-2 in every game, and Oakland had taken a 2-1 lead going into Game 4. And my dad he surprised me with, he was able to get 2 tickets to the Game 4 World Series, and he took me to my very first World Series as a 13-year-old. And we were in the second level at the Oakland Coliseum, right behind home plate, and it was fantastic seats. And I was really excited. It was going to be Ken Holtzman against Andy Messersmith, a rematch of Game 1. And Messersmith in '74 was one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. He finished 20-6 that year with a 2.59 ERA, and it was 2-1. We needed the win, and it was supposed to be a pitcher's duel. And Holtzman, for the first 3 innings, set the Dodgers down, pretty easily. And Messersmith was doing the same. He was cruising along till the bottom of the 3rd inning, and Ken Holtzman came to bat. And what you have to understand, in 1974 was the DH was in play now. So Holtzman hadn't hit. He hadn't hit in 2 years because the DH was in play, except for in the World Series. In the World Series, there was no DH, and pitchers had to hit. So it was a close game. It was a tie game, and Holtzman comes up in the bottom of the 3rd, and Messersmith throws him a fastball, and he jumps all over this, and he hits a ball probably 9 rows deep into the left field stands. And I just remember looking at my dad thinking, how the heck does that happen, right? And that home run, I can vividly, I'm 63 now, Brian, and it was 50 years ago, and I could vividly remember that pitch and the disappointment, because he just hit a home run off my Dodgers, and they came back to score 2 runs in the top of the next inning, but then the A's scored 4 in the 7th, I believe it was, and they took a 5-2 victory, and then they clinched the series the next game with a 3-2 win. So, but that home run, it was the first time I'd ever been to a World Series. We had our best pitcher on the mound, and I can still remember Ken Holtzman getting up there and hitting that thing into the left field stands. So there you have it. That's my story about a time when watching a pitcher hit, and then the other 2 great pitchers in Drysdale and Gibson. So fun video. Brian, I appreciate everybody taking the time to watch this. And until we talk again, stay safe, keep collecting. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.